Hi everyone. Sometimes a feature release for Nintex comes along and you just need to get it recorded. And today is one of those days. We've already shown the previous release around the auto task delegation, but February's release 2 also had another highly anticipated release, and I think the use cases around this one are incredible. What am I talking about? We'll get into the help files release notes in just a second. But the two that were released today, I think, combine really well with some of the AI actions that already exist. So they are get attachment metadata and get attachment from email, specifically for Microsoft Exchange. So let's have a quick look at the release notes and then we will go through a demo. So in the release notes, February's release 2, Microsoft Online Exchange actions, Microsoft Exchange Online actions, two new actions: get the attachment from the email, retrieves an attachment from an email message. Simple. Retrieves the metadata information for attachments in an email message. So you've got the help file there. You can jump into both of those. They'll tell you how to configure the action, where to find it, so on and so forth. So well worth checking out. Just help.nintex.com and go to Nintex Workflow. All the information that you need is there. Now you are going to need an Exchange Online connection, it's username and password, to allow you to extract that information. Same goes for metadata. So let's just hop back to the demo that I'm going to run through. I actually lived this one a bit in my personal life the other week, and I thought, wow, the people that are handling this specific use case must be going nuts. I was in the fortunate position of being able to do a track day, which was great fun, but it also requires quite a bit of admin. And one of those pieces of admin is a scrutineering form. You need to scrutineer, you self-scrutineer the car before you arrive, which involves a lot of checkboxes, some information about the event, some information about yourself, your car, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of pre-filled information that goes into that. That then goes to an email inbox. That was what the process was, and there are countless processes like this. That's not my inbox. That looks like somebody who's having a lot more fun in his life than I do. So photography classes, business trips, restaurant recommendations, so on and so forth. So think about an inbox in the commercial world, which is receiving lots of information all the time. Once you've done that, then you can go on track. As you can tell, it was an exciting day, and yeah, that was me after my first run. But I wouldn't have been able to do it had I not provided the scrutineering form, and there was 50 to 60 cars there that day. So a lot of admin is what I'm trying to get across, and that admin rears its ugly head in lots of different industries, verticals, departments, and use cases. I'll list these in the video in the description, but it's everything from finance and accounting, expense reimbursements, to healthcare referrals, to insurance claims, construction and engineering requests. In the government and public sector, we do development applications that have a lot of information, grants, job applications in the HR space, loan applications in the financial services space, so on and so forth. So as you can see, that's just 20, but if you think about where you are commonly filling in a document, sending it off as an email attachment, and on the other side someone is classifying it, they're storing it, and they're also then sort of probably copy pasting the information as well. So let's get into the demo. First things first, I'll show you the configuration and setup, and then what we'll do is get into the end result. So first you need to do is a connection. Now I have a connection already. It's to Exchange Online. We're going to use the demo environment here, so it's solution in a day as the connection, and that essentially kicks off an Nintex Automation Cloud workflow when an email is received. So that email is going to be what kicks off the workflow. It's going to go to that SIAD Outlook inbox, which is up there in the tab, and I can even do conditions. So I can say, well, don't start this workflow unless the email that's incoming has an attachment, or it's from a certain person, so on and so forth. So that's the first thing I need to do. Not a form initiated workflow, but a an email received initiated workflow. Next thing, I've got my get attachments metadata. This is that new action that's been added today. So my connection is the same, and I'm just using the message ID. Now that message ID is coming from the start event. So I just need to insert the message ID from that start variable. So it knows exactly which email it's going to look at, and I'm storing any of that attachment metadata, that attachment information within a variable. So my first thing I need to do is a simple loop. I need to get all the attachments from that email. Could be multiple attachments that have been uploaded, but essentially I'm just doing a loop through that target collection, which is called attachments. That comes from my get attachment from email. So I'm looping through that get attachments metadata variable that I've declared in the previous step. And then I'm just getting the attachments, and they're actually just coming out as a file type, which is great. So that file now lives within the workflow, and I can put that into different systems of record, which is what I'll do in the example, into SharePoint list. I can do that in an Nintex table now because it can store file information, or I can resend that on as an email. The next thing I'm going to do is actually just extract the information that I need from that document. I'll show you that document. It's up here. So I want things like the event name, the competitor name, and any car information. But as I could go through and pull things like specific non-compliance or the date or whatever it is that I need to pull. So I'm actually going to use the extract information from document or image action, which is in Nintex Automation Cloud. So it's one of those new AI actions. Just up at the top in my AI, I've got my extract text. There's a lot of other great extract information. I can detect PII if that's something that we need to do, summarize. I can even go into things like handwriting. We did a previous video on this if you check back through the channel. The information that I want to extract, well, I'd simply like to know the event, the competitor name, and the vehicle make. That's the things that I want to store, and traditionally in the manual world, that's what I had to line of sight the document and then pre-fill my list to know that that person had returned their form. The output type is JSON, and the extracted info is the output variable. So what I quickly need to do is just go through and get that extracted information into a format that I can use it with. So I'm going to do that for each, the vehicle, the competitor, and the event, and I'm storing those results. And then I need to store the document. So I've got a little action set for where I want to pop that document. The first one is a row in the trackday table. So that's a Nintex data table. And here's my trackday. I've got my name, my event, my competitor name, vehicle make column, and the actual scrutiny form is going to be uploaded there, and I can use that elsewhere. I can also download it. Now I'm going to pop this in a SharePoint as well. It's content management system. I'm managing content. Seems like a logical place to pop it. So there's my SharePoint site URL. I've got my list name, which is up here, and I've just used those same columns, but we'll see that dropping into the list. I'm just matching those variables up. So they're the variables that came from my JSON. So there's my vehicle, my competitor, and my event. There's those variables, and I'm simply putting them where I want that information to live in said lists. And I'm just going to log to the instance details to make sure it worked all right. So that's everything that I need just to simply receive an email, start a workflow, grab some specific metadata from that new action that's been released today, and then get the attachment from that email, the physical document or the file that's been attached. Then I need to extract that information, so I'm going to use AI based on the prompt and be as prescriptive and descriptive as you need to with the information that you need to extract, and it will give you a little clue down here or a little tip. I'm going to go through that JSON, and then I'm going to store the information where I need it to be stored. So what's left for me to do is simply send a document to that inbox. All right, so let's just resend the document, and that should appear in the inbox. That's what will then kick off the workflow, and if we want to, we can check instances and see that that workflow has started. Okay, email received. There's the information. There's my scrutiny web form, and my workflow should now have started. I can check my instances to see if that's the case. So here's the instance that's kicked off. We've got through quite a lot, so we should have got a row in the trackday table and an item in the trackday list. We've captured the information that we need to. So there's my competitor name, there's the vehicle, and there's the event. So let's check my table. It's in there, and so is my file. So my file has now been uploaded to Nintex data table. So I can download that, or I can reuse it elsewhere. I'm going to check my trackday SharePoint list just to show that it's not all bound by Nintex. So we've got my row in my table, got my scrutineer web form, and that's now been uploaded to SharePoint. Okay, I'd love to see what you're doing with this. The use cases are phenomenal. There's lots of that happens in industry. There's lots of that happens in businesses worldwide. Extracting information from an attachment that's been sent to a generic or a personal email inbox, putting it somewhere, but also extracting the text. Enjoy, and thanks for watching.